All right, so here, y'all, is a problem on graphing quadratic functions, and how do we go through this problem here? Okay, so the first part is asked us to find the vertex. So the first thing I'm going to do, y'all, I'm going to think of the basic form of my quadratic function. So it says graph the quadratic function f of x, and the general form, y'all, looks like this. X minus h squared plus k, and the vertex, y'all, is always written in the form h and k. So when I think of our problem and we have f of x equals x plus 2 squared minus 3, then I'm going to say my vertex, notice what we have here, y'all. Here there's a minus h, but the vertex is just h. So I need to change this sign. So if it's a positive 2 there, I'm going to write a negative 2. This part here has a k, and that part there has a k, so that sign I don't change. So this one is going to stay negative 3. So my vertex is negative 2, negative 3. And if you notice, that's how we have it right there. Okay, then we also, another thing we want to do, y'all, we want to graph the quadratic function. So when you're doing this on MyLab, the extra step that you're going to need to do the graphing is we need to find at least one more point. So an easy point to find, y'all, is f of 0, which is going to be our y-intercept. So the easy way you can find the y-intercept is everywhere we have the letter x up here, let's plug in the number 0. So 0 plus 2 squared minus 3. 0 plus 2 is 2. Squared minus 3. 2 squared is 4. Minus 3 is 1. So the other point we have, y'all, is the point 0 and 1. So when you do this on MyLab, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the point negative 2, negative 3 right here, right there. And then you're going to plot another point 0, 1, which is right here. And then the graph will be drawn for you, so you don't have to do much else, right? MyLab is pretty cool in that it draws the picture for me when I select the parabola function, okay? Now, second part says, let's find the axis. The axis is what we refer to, y'all, as the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is a vertical line, and it's always going to have the same value as the x-coordinate of my vertex. So look what we have here. X equals negative 2. And that's what they have right there. Visually, y'all, what this is this is a vertical line that cuts the graph directly in half. So look, there's my vertical line. I knew I was a little bit off, y'all. But there's my vertical line. That's the line that cuts the graph directly in half. What I see on the left side is the same thing I see on the right, right? Let me draw that again so it looks a little bit better. Okay, let's see if we can do this a little bit better. There we go. That looks a lot better. Boom. There's my vertical line. Okay. The domain, y'all, is always going to be from negative infinity to infinity. It's the x values. What that means is here's my x-axis. If I go up at some point, because this graph is going like this at an angle and like this at an angle, if I go up at some point, I'm going to hit my graph. If I go down, I'm going to hit my graph. No matter how far to the right or how far to the left I go, eventually I'm going to hit my graph, okay? Now, what about the range? So let me explain the range to y'all. Okay, let me clean up some of this mess here. And, oh, I don't know, I'll use green. Okay, the range refers to the y values. So let me write it over here. The range are the y values, okay? Oops, the y values. So here's my y-axis. I'm going to draw a line going up. Oops. I'm going to draw a line going up from the bottom all the way to the top on the y-axis. Okay. Notice, as I start coming up, I'm not hitting my graph when I go to the left or the right. We don't hit a graph until we hit right here. There's the lowest point of the graph, right? So that value right here, y'all, is negative 3. So let me clean this mess up a little bit just so you can see it a little bit better. But if you look right, oops, there's my green pen. Here we go. If you look right there, that's the y value, negative 3. So my range starts at negative 3. Oops. And we keep, as long as we keep going up, we're always going to hit our graph if we move to the right or if we move to the left. No matter how far, because again, this graph has those little arrows that goes forever and ever and ever, right? So it's going from negative 3 all the way up. We're going all the way up to infinity. So my range is going to be from negative 3 to infinity. Remember, y'all, with infinities, we always use a parentheses. We used a bracket here because that's where that value first started, okay? And if you notice right here, here it is from -3 to infinity.